Hola chicos, this is the vocabulary for Chapter 4, Section 1, and if you've already copied this in your class, you can fast forward to where we left off yesterday. So 17, number 17, por la mañana, means in the morning, and it's used when you're talking just generally, like we're going to go in the morning. I'm going to work out in the morning, not in the afternoon. And if you're talking about a specific clock time, then you're going to have a slightly different expression. That'll be de la mañana. But just general, in the morning, por la mañana. Por la tarde is how you say in the afternoon. And as you might be able to see the pattern already, por la noche is at night or in the evening. Generalmente is how you say generally. Generalmente. It looks really long and scary, but just say each syllable. Generalmente. Hoy no. Not today. So kind of opposite order of how we say it. So if you say, Profe, do we have a quiz? I'd say, hoy no. Today no. Mañana. Tomorrow. Now, if you're feeling confused because you just wrote down mañana for morning, let me explain the difference. Mañana will mean morning when mañana has a la in front of it. If there is no la in front of mañana, it'll mean tomorrow. So, look at these examples. Mañana por la mañana would be tomorrow morning, tomorrow in the morning. I know that the first word means tomorrow because there's no la, there's no the in front of it. Mañana por la noche, tomorrow night. Hoy por la tarde, this afternoon, or today in the afternoon. So their way of referring to these time periods is a bit different than how we do. Todos los días is a synonym of cada día. You can use either one. Día, even though it ends in a, is a masculine word. So that's why it's todos los días. And todos, you might notice, looks a lot like the word total, which is all the numbers added together. Con. Con means with. So if you remember from the Ken and Barbie stories, Ken practica su español con Barbie. Ken practices his Spanish with Barbie. So you can follow the person's name. If you're going to say with me and with you and all the others, it's going to look a bit different. It is conmigo. That's how you say with me. You don't say con mi, you don't say con yo. It's one word, conmigo. With you is contigo. The M changes to a T, which kind of makes sense because it's tú for you, contigo. After that, it'll use the subject pronoun. So with him is con él, con ella, with her, con usted, if you're being formal, with you, formal, con nosotros, with us, con ustedes, with you guys, con ellos, with them, and con ellas if it's all girls. Con quien. If it's in a question, quien will have an accent mark. If it's in a statement, it will not. In the example, con quien vas? We'd say, who are you going with? But in Spanish, they don't allow you to dangle a preposition at the end. They would say, with whom are you going? Con quien vas? If you're asking, who are you going with? And you're assuming that it's going to be like a group of people, more than one person, The plural is con quienes. So they just add es to quien, and that makes it who, plural. Un novio, una novia, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. Novio and novia tend to have a bit of a more strong meaning in Spanish because novio and novia means groom and bride. It can also mean fiancé. So people tend to hold off on using that term until things are a little more serious. Maybe use it before we would, or further along in the relationship than we would. So just a cultural difference. Una familia. The stress is on the me. Think you eat meals with your family. Una familia. Juntos. Juntas means together. Think of the word juncture, two things coming together. So juntos if it's all guys or guys and girls. Juntas if it's all girls. Solo. Alone. Solo if it's a guy. Sola if it's a girl. Next is the verb estar. You've been using forms of estar since the first week of school. Estás, as in ¿cómo estás?, comes from estar. There are actually two verbs that mean to be in Spanish, and later this chapter we'll talk about how to know when you use each one. But generally speaking, estar is used when you're talking about emotions. That's why when you say ¿cómo estás?, how are you, you use a form of estar. Physical condition, like are you sick, are you tired? And your location. So, estar. Here are the conjugations of estar. You can see the yo form is irregular. It's estoy. Kind of like soy has a y at the end too. The other way to say I am. Estás has an accent on the A. Está also, and están. Estamos does not. En. En means a lot of things for such a little word. En can mean in, it can mean on, and it can mean at when you're referring to location. So if you're saying, I'm in class, estoy en clase. My book is on the table. Mi libro está en la mesa. Estamos en el cine. We're at the movie theater. So en is the equivalent to in, on, and at for location. Hacer algo. You probably remember seeing hacer before, like hacer tarea, to do homework from chapter 2. Hacer algo, to do something. Hacer has an irregular yo form. You don't take off the ER and add an O, because if you did it would be ako. Ako does not sound like hacer. Neither does their solution either, but somehow it's a compromise that they've come up with. They change the C to a G. Hago. Hago is how you say I do, I make. Then the verb goes back to normal forms. Haces, hace, hacemos, hacen. Sección 2, places to go. El campo, the country. Not a political country like Russia, but the country as in not the city. And there's lots of words in English that have to do with this. The area around a college or a university is called a campus or a school. You go camping. El centro comercial, for the mall. The center commercial is literally what you're saying. El gimnasio, the gym. Gimnasio. The G makes a H sound. El parque, the park. La piscina, so an S and a C, piscina. And you will see signs up around piscinas that say, no hagas pipí en la piscina. Yes, you guessed it. Don't pee in the pool. La playa, the beach. Think you play at the beach. La playa. Un partido. This word is already familiar to you from your pronunciation words. A game. Think you participate in a game. Un partido. Una fiesta. A party. Un baile. You can tell it comes from the verb bailar. Un baile.